Oh, 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone. We will continue from where we left off. Now we are on to the 10th Rit mantra in the first Anuvaka of Sri Rudram. I will just start by reading the mantra. Pramuncha dhanvanastvamubhayorarni yorjam yascha te hasta ishava parata bhagavo vapa. Pramuncha dhanvanastvamubhayorarni yorjam याश्च ते हस्त इषव पराता भगवो वप. प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्तियोर्ज्याम् याश्च ते हस्त इषव पराता भगवो वप. We will look at the word by word or pada form of the mantra. Pramuncha. The next word, as you can see, is a combination of many words. It's a compound word or samasa. So we'll break them out into simple words. The first one is dhanvanaha. The visarga ha has become is because of sandhi. So the word is dhanvanaha. The second one is tvam. So you can see tvam ubhayo. Okay, so it's tvam. The next word is ubhayoho. Ubhayoho. Okay, so the ubhayo, the visarga here has become ir. Okay, it has taken a sound of ir, and so ubhayor in sandhi form, but it's the simple word is ubhayoho without sandhi. That ir plus a in the next word becomes ra here. So the next word here, if you just look at the word as it's, is arthniyoho. Arthniyoho. So as you can see, there is three letter compound consonant. So is ir, it, and ni. Arthni yoho. The last word is jam. Okay, jam. If you look at the next line, yaha is the first word. The ha visarga takes the sound ish or ish. Okay, so that's how it becomes yascha. Okay. Yascha. Te, the haste, because of sandhi, the a has been dropped, so it becomes hasta. Okay, so the simple word, original word is haste. The next one is ishavaha. Para, ta, and bhagavaha. The visarga again has become O because of sandhi in the Samhita Pata. And the last word is Vapa. Okay, I'll just read them. Pramuncha dhanvanaha tvam ubhayoho arthniyoho jam ya cha te haste, ishavaha, para, ta, bhagavaha, papa. Just to give attention to some of the words which are aspirated or with Mahaprana. Dhanvaha is dha is aspirated, it's the fourth letter in the tha varga. Then ubhayo, the bha is also aspirated, which is the fourth letter in the pa varga. The others are okay. Then the last one again bhagavaha comes here. Bha is again the fourth letter in the pa varga, which is aspirated. And shavaha, the sha is cerebral sha. So the tongue should, as much as possible, point upwards. Okay. So those are something to keep in mind. Then we will look at the Rishi and the Chandas and Devata. The Rishi is Narada. So this mantra, actually, today we are going to cover 3 Rik mantras. All of them have been conceived, okay, so have been seen and heard by Narada Maharshi. Okay, Narada is the Rishi. The Chandas is Anushtup, which is 32 matra one, which 4 times 8 matra counts. And the Devata, who is worshipped, is Sri Rudra, the form of the Lord. Okay, Sri Rudra. So I will just go to the word meaning. Pramuncha is the first word. Pramuncha means untie. You know, is the word which is given. You can say you loosen the ties also, you can say. Okay. Pramuncha. Okay. That's the meaning of Pramuncha. Dhanvanaha. Dhanvanaha means off the bow. Okay, off the bow. Tvam is the next word. That means you. Okay. So you untie. Okay, that's the meaning. You untie. Dhanvanaha ubhayoho artniyoho. Okay, ubhayoho means, ubhayoho generally means whenever it relates to a pair or two things. Ubhaya. Okay, so it's actually an adjective. You can say ubhayoho artniyoho. Artniyoho means the ends. Okay, artni means ends. Artniyoho means in the two ends. Okay, which is the seventh vibhakti. Okay, whereas this one is Dhanvanaha is off the bow. It's sixth vibhakti, Shashti vibhakti. Jam is the last word in the first verse, first line. Jam is the bowstring. So what the prayer is, the devotee or the rishi is telling the Lord, "Oh Lord, loosen the string from both the ends. Okay, untie them, because when it's tied, the bow is very taut. So that means, to some extent, it's disarm the bow. Okay, and that's the way the meaning is described by the Bhashyakarakas, so the people who have provided explanations, the rishis. So pramunja dhanvanaha tvam. So you have to. So the word tvam is used. That means you have to loosen the strings of the bow. So we will come back to the meaning. Ya means whichever, those which. Cha means and. Te means your. Okay. So whatever is in your hand. Okay. Then haste. Yaschate haste. Whatever is in your hand. Yaschate haste. Ishavaha. Arrows. So it's plural. Okay. So the arrows which are in your hand. That's what it means. Yaschate hastishavah. All the arrows in your hand. Para means away. Okay, para means outside, away, or whatever you want to call it. Both ways you can take the meaning. Taha, they, cha, and also. Bhagavaha, oh Bhagavan, you ask the Lord, Vapa. So it's actually para Vapa. Means cast or throw, means leave them out. Para Vapa means leave it out. Cast Vapa itself to leave. Para means leave, keep them away. Okay. So the devotee is praying, oh Bhagavan, you yourself, Tvam, okay, you yourself untie the bowstring from both ends of the bow and cast away the arrows which are in your hand. Okay. So you can say the word, the te is in your hands and tvam, you. So you have to do it. No one else can do it. That kind of a meaning. So the devotee is praying. The Rishi is seeing that as a prayer to the Lord, saying, please untie the strings from both ends of the arrow, bow. It's not telling one end, both ends. Ubayoho artmyoho. And te means in your hands, whatever arrows you're holding, just put them away. So generally the commentary is that the Rishi is praying, then the Lord, put them away, put the weapons away, so that because we have already said, all the mantras before already saying, because of this, all the good things will happen, and the bad things diseases will vanish, all that. So now the job is done. Now you tell Lord, it's all done, you put them away. So you can take it from that sense also. But many people say, oh, people are afraid, of the weapon, so we say put them away. So that's also another meaning. Depends on how each one of us conceive the Lord. That meaning can be taken. The intention for this prayer. Okay, we can go into a bit more detail on what is Dhanvana. It is why the Lord is keeping, why we have to ask, won't He know? All these questions will come up. That why have we request or advice, because the Lord knows what to do. So then there comes the meaning. See, Dhanvana is the body is considered a bow. Okay, the string jam is the mind. Okay, so the mind is the string. I think we will look at Swami's discourse later. So the mind is the string. So when it is tied in two ends, what are those two ends in which it is tied means? You can say the mind is sometimes tied inside, tied outside. Okay, that's attachment. That attachment has to be relaxed. So we should perform things in this world without attachment. When the attachment takes over, then everything bad comes from that. When we attach inside, when we attach outside, both attachments have to be relaxed. Then the body is relaxed. Okay, then whatever thought, Ishava is the arrows are nothing but thoughts also. Whatever thoughts which are negative also put away. So the mind becomes thoughtless. So it's not very easy for us to achieve that, even if it has to be within us. Our mind's attachment, okay, so that the body gets carried away by the attachment of the mind, and the thoughts which completely continuously come, if they all put away, then we will be different people. We will be peaceful, we will be happy, we will be healthy. So actually we are unable to do that, so we ask the Lord to do it for us, because everything is His also, and our thoughts also is. So we pray to the Lord, please help us put away our thoughts, let our attachments be gone, then no harm will happen to either us or to others. So that is meaning which we can take. There's one commentator called Vishnu Suri who talks in this strain. Okay, so I thought I will cover that as well. we can see, Swami has repeated some of this information, teachings in his discourses, which we can take a look at later. Then this is the second month, 11th mantra. Okay, we will read Avatatya Dhanustvagum Sahasraksha Shate Shudhe Nishirya Shalyanam Mukha Shivo Na Sumana Bhava. Avatatya Dhanustvagum Sahasraksha Shate Shudhe Nishirya Shalyanam Mukha Shivo Na Sumana Bhava. Avatatya Dhanustvagum Sahasraksha Shate Shudhe Nishirya Shalyanam Mukha Shivo Na Sumana Bhava. Now we will look at some of the letters, because I think this is difficult in terms of pronouncing it right, because of the complexity and the sequence in which some of the sounds come. So we will pay attention to that. Okay. Avatatya is pretty simple enough. Dhanu, the dha is the fourth letter in the tha varga, so it has to be aspirated. Dhanustvagum Sahasraksha. The ksha is also the sh is the cerebral sh. Okay, the tongue has to be raised up. Shate, this sh is palatal one, so the tongue has to be parallel to the roof of the mouth. Sh, te, shu. Again, the sh is cerebral one, so the tongue has to be raised. Then the last letter is de. So it is aspirated. So it's again fourth letter in the tha varga. So it has to shate, shu, de. Okay. So that, I think, pay attention and try to practice, because it's important that we get it right. Shate, shu, de. Shate, shu, de. Okay. Nishirya is the next one. So it should be okay. The shas are all palatal shas, where the tongue is parallel to the roof of the mouth. Mukha. This kha is actually the second letter in the ka varga. So it has to be aspirated. So mukha. Okay, mukha, shivona, sumana, bha. Again, bha is the fourth letter in the pa varga, so it has to be aspirated. Mukha, shivona, sumana, bhava. Okay. So avatatya dhanustvagum sahasraksha shate shudhe nishirya shalyana mukha shivona sumana bhava. Okay. Let's look at the word by word form of this mantra. Avatatya is the first word. The next one is dhanuhu. Okay, the visarga has become is because of sandhi, so that is how you get dhanustvagum. But again, the tvam has become tvagum. I think we have already discussed how in Taitriya or Shaka or Pratishakya was in Krishna Yajurveda. In certain places, the anuswara has an additional sound which comes in, which is g. Okay, because of certain rules of what follows that anuswara. Generally, if there is a and and a few letters, it takes on gung. Okay, so instead of it's gung. Okay, dhanustva gung. So, but the simple word is tvam. So dhanuhu, tvam. The next word is sahasraksha. No change. Shate, shudhe, no change. Nishirya, same. Shalyana, Mukha, these three are the same. Shivaha has become Shivo because of the Visarga taking O sound, Okara, because of Sandhi. Okay. So Shivaha, Naha, Sumana, Bhava. We will look at the month. So as I mentioned, the three mantras which we are going to cover are conceived or received by Lord Sri Narada, the Narada Rishi. And the Chandas meter is Anushtup, and Sri Rudra is Devata who is being worshipped or meditate upon. So we will look at the meanings of the words. Avatatya. Actually, we have in the previous shloka we are asking the Lord. I will just go back. So we are asking for pramuncha dhanvanaha. Okay. So that means loosen the ties. Okay. So here, so it has happened. Okay. Avadatya dhanuhu. Okay. So the bow is actually now unstrung. Avadatya dhanuhu. Tvam, you. Sahasraksha. So we are worshipping the Lord. 1,000-eyed one. Okay. You are the one who has the thousands of eyes. Again, the Sahasra word is generally translated as thousand, but in Vedic context, it means infinite, limitless. Okay, Sahasraksha, one who has eyes everywhere. Sahasraksha. Shate Shudhe. Okay. Again, the word Shate Shudhe is made of two words. Okay, it's Sandhi again. Shata plus Ishudhe becomes Shate Shudhe. Okay, Shata plus Ishudhe becomes Shate Shudhe because the plus E becomes Te. So that's how it becomes Shate Shudhe. Okay, so it's again an internal Sandhi. Shata means 100. Generally, the meaning of the number 100 is Shata. So issue means issue. We have issue who means it's arrow. Issue the. So this is actually 7th vibhakti in terms of, so that means in, okay, or with, that kind of meaning. So issue they means you're addressing the issue they. That means actually you are one who is uh, issued. So issuddha means actually quiver. Okay. So the commentators are given the word, we are addressing the Lord who has 1,000 quivers, 100 quivers. So one who has 100 thousands of eyes and who has many quivers, quiver of arrows. Because issue means arrow, issuddha means that which holds the arrows. Okay, so that is the way. So one who has many arrows means a quiver is there, means there are many arrows. So one who has limitless number of arrows. Okay. Nishirya. Nishirya means without shirya. Okay, Nishirya. Nishirya means generally the arrows are very sharp. Okay, so we want them to be a bit more softer, smooth the tip of the arrow. That's the idea here. So let it not be sharp. Okay. Shalyanam of the Shalyana Mukha. Shalya means again of the arrows. Okay, of the arrows. It's a plural word. Shalyana Mukha means tips. So we're asking, let the tips of the arrows be unsharpened. Let them be a bit more smoother. Okay. Shivaha, auspicious. Let them be auspicious, Shivaha. Naha, to us. Sumana bhava. Sumana means benevolent. Mana means thought or wish. Okay, mind. Sumana means let the minds be pleasant. So that means pleasing or benevolent. Okay, bhava, may it be. Okay, so we are asking the Lord, oh, the thousand-eyed one, the one with 100 arrows, quivers, who has already unstrung the bow. Okay, so we prayed in the previous one. You put away the arrows, keep the bow untied. The string should be untied or loosened from the both ends. Now that the Lord has done it, we are saying even the arrows, let the tips become not so sharp. So that's the prayer. But the thing is, we should also understand there should be Shiva and Sumana. So that means because of that, everything becomes auspicious to us. And Sumana means our mind also will be calm. So again, we go back to the same thing. The word Sumana itself means the whole idea is so that we are peaceful in our mind. Our minds are peaceful. So that is the prayer. How will our minds be peaceful? Not because the Lord keeps them. It is it has to happen within us, and the Lord has to help us achieve that place. So ultimately, we want to be Shiva auspicious. Everything around us should be auspicious, and we should be all become Sumana, means with mind which are pure. Su. Okay. So we can say we are praying to the Lord because God is not attacking with us any weapons, but it is a thought which attack us, which arise in our own mind, they attack us. So let them be less sharp. So that, see, in this world, when the attachment is very strong, the emotions get worked up, and our thoughts and words also can become sharp. So we're asking the Lord, let us not be attached. Take away our attachment. Put our thoughts away. And even whatever thoughts which we are just stored and it may come out, let them be not sharp. So all these prayers the devotee is asking. So avatatya dhanustvam sahasraksha shate shudhe nishirya shalyana mukha shivona sumana bhava. Means let it be auspicious and peace, calming or benevolent. So I've just used the word benevolent. That's good enough for our purposes, so that we are reminded of it whenever we chant this mantra. We'll go to the 12th mantra. Vidyam Dhanuh Kapardino Vishalyo Banavagum Uta Aneshannaseshava Abhurasya Nishangatihi. Vidyam Dhanuh Kapardino Vishalyo Banavagum Uta Aneshannaseshava Abhurasya Nishangatihi. Vidyam Dhanuh Kapardino Vishalyo Banavagum Uta Aneshannaseshava Abhurasya Nishangatihi. Okay. We'll just look at some of the letters which have to be paid a bit more attention so that we chant them right. Dhanu again is Dadha is the aspirated fourth letter in the Tavarga. Kapardino, Vishalyo, Banavagum, Uta, none of them are aspirated sounds. Aneshannasye Shava, Sha again is the tongue raised up, cerebral. Abhu, This bhu is again fourth letter in the pa varga, so has to be aspirated. Abhurasya nishangatihi. The sh is cerebral, and this thi is the second of the second letter in the tha varga, so it has to be aspirated. Nishangatihi. Okay. We look at the word by word form of this mantra. Vidyam, Danu, Khapardinaha. So here the Visarga has become O because of Sandhi. Vishalyaha. Again the Visarga has become O, so Vishalyo because of Sandhi. Bhanavan is the word without this G. Okay. Bhanavan Uta. Next word, actually there is 3 word compound word which you see here. So there are 3 words. Aneshan, Asya, Ishavaha. Okay. Aneshan, Asya, Ishavaha. So Innana becomes Inna. Okay. And Ya and E becomes Ye. Okay. Aneshan Yeshav. Anesanas Yeshava. Asyeshava. Okay. Asyeshava because Ya and E becomes Ye. So that's another sandhi. Here, abhurasya is made of 2 words, abhu and asya. Abhurasya. Okay. Again, the visarga becomes ra, ir in this case, and ir and a becomes ra. Okay. So visarga sometimes is dropped, sometimes it becomes o, sometimes it becomes is, sometimes it becomes ir. Okay. Those are the common ones which you see. So in this case, the visarga has become ir. So that's how you get abhurasya. Abhu asya. When joined becomes abhurasya. Nishangatihi, no change. Okay. So those are the word forms. That is the word form of the mantra. We'll just take a look at them again. Vidyam, dhanuhu, kapardinaha, ishalyaha, banavan, uta, aneshan, asya, ishavaha, abhu, asya, nishangatihi. Vidyam, dhanuhu, kapardinaha, vishalyaha, banavan, uta, aneshan, asya, ishavaha, abhu, asya, nishangatihi. Vidyam, dhanuhu, kapardina, vishalyaha, banavan, uta, aneshan, asya, ishava, abhu, asya, nishangatihi. Okay, so that's a pada form of this mantra. So as I've already mentioned, the Rishi is Sage Narada, Chandas is Anushtu, and Devata is Sri Rudra. All 3 mantras. It's the 3rd mantra which we are looking at. We'll look at the meaning of the words. Vijyam. Jam, Vijyam. Jam is string. If you look at the first mantra, Vijyam means there's no string. It's free from the string, which ties both the ends. Okay, Vijyam, unstrung. Dhanuhu, again bow. Kapardinaha. Okay, Kapardinaha, I think we are first coming across first time. One whose hair is matted. You can see sages, they put some form of glue, you can say, and tie it up. So that is generally called kapardina. One who is wearing that is called kapardin. Okay, kapardi and kapardin. So one whose hair is matted. Okay. So that is one name of Lord Shiva. So Kapardinaha. Vishalyaha means without arrows. You can say Vijyam and Vishalya. Shalya means arrow. So Vishalya means one who is without arrows. Okay. So Vijyam means without string, bowstring. Vishalyahi without arrows. Banavan, that's quiver. So the arrow is without quiver, the bow is without a string. Okay. So there are no thoughts, the mind is not attached. Okay. With the and, anation. Okay. And Ishan. Ishan means that which pierces or causes hurt. Ishana is the name of the Lord. Isha means to hurt or pierce something. So anishan means that which does not pierce. Anishan. Because we have now asked the Lord to unsharpen the arrows in the previous mantra. Okay, if you will we look at Nishirya. Okay, we want him to just make it less sharp, so you can rub it and take a pointer rub and rub it and it becomes Nishirya. So that means the arrows have become now not sharp. Okay, so it's they are called anation. Okay, anation, incapable of piercing or causing hurt. Asya, of this one, Ishava had arrows. Okay, Abhu means empty. It's not in hand. That kind of meaning also. Abhu, not in hand. Nishangatihi, sheath or sheath, where you keep a sword, that's called Nishangati. Okay. Or a quiver, arrows quiver also is called Nishangati, where it's storage. Okay. The storage is empty. So, we had two prayers. First we asking the Lord, loosen the string, put the, arrows away. Okay. We say unsharpen the arrows. And now its statement, it has all happened. Vijyam Dhanu, Vishalya Banu, Banavan, Aneshan Ishava, and Nishangati, Abhu Nishangati. So everything is all calm and quiet. Everything is put away and nothing can cause harm. So the prayer is, oh, may the bow of the one with matted hair be unstrung. So, you can see it's a repetition of the mantra, but you can also say it's a statement. Okay, it is all, now the bow is unstrung, the quiver is without arrows, and the arrows this one has, they will not cause hurt, and the sheath of sword is all empty. So that is, you can say it's a conclusive statement of it's a three mantra, which is a triune mantra, three mantras. They sort of, as you can see, they build on one on top of the other. At the end, we have reached a place where everything is calm. Okay, so the first Anuvaka is all about pleasing the Lord so that the Lord and our interaction becomes very peaceful. That's the way many of the commentators have seen it. So all the mantras are to calm down the Lord. See, the Lord is always calm. It is we who get agitated and think that Lord is. See, the story of Prahlada and Hiranyakashipu is such. Hiranyakashipu saw the Lord as someone who has come to take his life and he was scared. Whereas Prahlada was happy. Ahlada means to be happy. He looked at the world and everything was peaceful for him. Even when the father was being killed, it was peaceful for him. He didn't see the Lord as scary. Okay, so ultimately, it's our own perception of how the Lord is. So this whole, the first Anvaka is to prepare ourselves so we perceive the Lord as someone who is soft and pleasing. And that happens only because of our internal turmoil, which is the mind because of some attachment, So all sorts of thoughts coming. That is when we get troubled. So, which basically here means we will be unattached. Thoughts are away. Even the thoughts which come are very pleasing. They don't cause hurt or pierce, and everything is empty. There's no thought left to come out. That way also we can say we are actually praying to the Lord so that we attain that stage of calmness and peace and feeling not hurt by anything in this world. So you can say that is also one prayer, that we should not be hurt by anything in this world, and that the right state of mind can give that. So Vishnu Suri, who has commented, he has looked at it in those terms. Okay. So whenever we are going through troubles, we can chant these three mantras, and it should calm us down. It should calm the situation also. We look at the dhyanam. Udyat Bhaskara Koti Prakasham. Sorry. Udyat Bhaskara Koti Prakasham Adipta Dahana Dhamanam Bhishana Bhujanga Bhusham Bhishana Bhujanga Bhusham Dhyayed Vividayudham Rudram Udyad Bhaskara Koti Prakasham Adipta Dahana Dhamanam Bhishana Bhujanga Bhusham Dhyayed Vividayudham Rudram Udyad Bhaskara Koti Prakasham Adipta Dahana Dhamanam Bhishana Bhujanga Bhusham Dhyayed Vividayudham Rudram. You look at the meaning. I have spoken out all the words here, just the way I have done for other dhyana shlokas. Dhyayet comes here, okay. Dhyayet Vivida Yudham. Dhyayet means one should meditate. It should be done, you know. Dhyayet. On Sri Rudram. Dhyayet Rudram. The it becomes id because of sandhi, okay. Because id were, the next word is Vividha Yudham. So it and V becomes udvi. Okay, it becomes the third letter in the varga because of sandhi. So it becomes dhyayed. So one should meditate on Sri Rudra. Sorry about it. I think I didn't realize. Sorry. Who has many types of weapons. Vividha. Vividha means many. Vividha. Vidha means itself a type. Okay. Vividha means many types, many kinds. Vividha. Ayudham. So you can say there are two words actually, Vividha and Ayudham has become Vividhayudham. Okay. Again, you can see the Dha is both the fourth letter in the Tha Varga. Okay. Vividha Ayudham. Ayudha means weapon. So one who has many kinds of weapons. That Rudram we should meditate on. Okay. Dhyayed Vividhayudham Rudram. What type of Rudra is he? Who is brilliant? Prakasham, you know. Udhyat Bhaskara Koti Prakasham. Udyad Bhaskara Koti Prakasham. Prakasham means one who is brilliant. Like the rising, Udyat means Udikradi in Tamil we will say, you know, Udyat means that which is rising or it has risen. Udyat. The Udyat is the process of rising. Udyat Bhaskara. Okay. Bhaskara is sun. Bha means effulgent or light. Bhaskara means one who makes everything filled with light. Okay. One Kara means one who does Bhas. Okay. So he's light. Bhaskara, one who spreads light. Bhaskara. Koti means crore, means 10 million, if you want to just look at the number, millions. So, who is brilliant like the rising of a crore Suryas. So, as if one sun itself is bright. So, you can imagine if millions of suns rise up, how bright it will be. That is the brilliance of this Rudra. Udhyat Bhaskara Koti Prakasham. Okay. Aditya. So, next one is who is radiant. Dhamanam. Dhamanam means who is radiant. Okay. Like the flame Adipta. Adipta means one to light the fire, so it starts blaze, flames, blazing. Who is radiant like the blazing also you can say. Dhamanam, Adipta Dhamana means blazingly radiant. Okay. Dahana. Dahana means fire, one which burns. Dahana is one which burns, so it's fire. Okay. So who is radiant like the fire, okay, which is a flame. So you can see the brilliance of which was visualized or which was seen by the Rishi. Okay, you have millions of sun rising at the same time, and that is the brilliance, which is the light which is hitting and us, and he is flaming like the flaming fire. That is the type of effulgence of the Lord, who is radiant like the flaming fire. Adipta. Okay. Adipta Dahana Dhamanam. Who is adorned? Bhusham. Bhusha means ornaments. Okay. Bhushana means one who wears different ornaments. So Bhusha means he is decorated or adorned. Right? Bhishana Bhujanga. Bhishana means dreadful. Okay, which give you fear striking. Dreadful. Bhujanga means snakes. Okay, so serpents. So the Rishi is visualizing or meditating on this Lord who is wearing all these, having all sorts of weapons, Vividayudam, and he's decorated with very dreadful, fear-striking snakes as his ornaments, with the brilliance of millions of sun rising like a flaming fire, a flaming wall of fire. Okay, so that is the way the rishis meditate on this month. Even though the Lord is like that, such Lord is actually pleasing. He will make us. So Lord does all this so that actually we become peaceful, we become thoughtless, we will be able to face anything in life because He has all that. So we are protected. So there are many ways we can see this, picture this Lord, and see how the mantras work. He has all this. Vividhayudam. So you say, oh Lord, I am seeing all these weapons. Let them be, peaceful. You have seen all these snakes. They are dreadful. Let them also be calm. So when these are all with the Lord, they are all calm. Even the most poisonous thing, once offered to the Lord, He is capable of making anything in this world calm. So that is the prayer in these three mantras. This world we see, and whatever is striking fear in us, whatever is causing hurt in us, offer it to the Lord. The Lord knows how to calm it down. That's with Tvam, because they are all yours. Only you are the Lord. Only you can do it. With that thought, the rishis pray to the Rudra. Okay, he's fear striking, Rudra, but fear striking so that we are not afraid. That's the thought process of the rishis. Because as you know, this is conceived by Narada. He was singing and going all over the world because he was fearless. He was not afraid of any situation. Sometimes what he does actually causes problem for others, but he was, even in that, he was calm. And that was Sri Narada. So he is the one who gave us these three mantras, so that in all these problems, we should be able to sing the name of the Lord and be calm. Okay, so that is the, so Sri Narada prayed, and he also demonstrated how that state is achieved. By singing the name of the Lord, you would have achieved all this. You will be fearless, you will be not hurt by anything. And he has given us his mantras. By chanting this, hopefully we will also become somewhat like Narada. At least we will experience a little bit of a fraction of what he experienced. And he did not have problem going to any Asura king. Every Asura king he would have landed. Whether it's Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, anyone, he would have been there. And what he did, so that such a great rishi has given us these three mantras. Now we will go to the discourse excerpts. I tried to get excerpts which are sort of relevant and give us some, understanding of these mantras. So I thought I will pick some up. It's an opportunity for us to learn what Swami has taught also. So the first excerpt is from Ramakatha Rasavahini. So I will just read. It's a bit of a story, but I think it's good after a lot of theory and philosophy, I guess. Sitting on the soft sands, Vishwamitra related to the two brothers he had drawn close to him the special features and significance of the rite contemplated by Emperor Janaka. During the description, he referred to a precious bow that Janaka had in his possession, a bow that was uniquely potent and shone with rare splendor. He declared that they must not miss seeing it. At this, Rama asked how the bow happened to reach Janaka. So this, what's happening is, as you all know, in Ramayana, Sage Vishwamitra came to King Dasharatha and wanted Rama and Lakshmana to accompany him to protect a yajna, a yaga, which he was going to perform. And after a lot of reluctance, Dasharatha let Rama and Lakshmana go, who were very young at that time. So Rama and Lakshmana went and protected the yajna, and the yajna was done. So at the end of it, after the completion of the yajna, there was an invitation from King Janaka so Emperor Janaka to Sage Vishwamitra, inviting him for a yajna he was performing. And so Vishwamitra was planning to take Rama and Lakshmana, because that was a time when there was a Swayamvara for Sita also. So he wanted Sri Rama to go. So he's giving them, some, you can go and see the bow, you should not miss it. Because Sri Rama was reluctant to go anywhere else but to return home. Because he said the father had not given him any other instruction. He was supposed to come and protect the yajna and get back. So, but Vishwamitra is trying to entice him into this. Of course, okay, so that is. So then Vishwamitra is telling how King Janaka got this bow. Okay. Vishwamitra answered, "Listen, son, years ago, the emperor of Mithila, Devaratha, okay, so it's the ancestor of King Janaka, celebrated a great rite, the like of which no mortal could dare to perform, a rite that could confer vast spiritual benefits, a rite that pleased the gods so highly that they gifted him this divine bow as a mark of appreciation." So apparently he had done rite means, yajna, which pleased the gods so much that they gifted him this bow. So one of the ancestors of King Janaka. It is the bow of Shiva. So that was the bow of Shiva. So, which is what we were reading all this time about, unstring the bow and all that. So this bow was unstrung. And it was with King Janaka, it was an unstrung bow. Okay. So who can string it? that person who can lift it and string, that person will marry Sita. That's the story. So Devarata, who was an ancestor of King Janaka, got this as a gift from the gods. It is worshipped with due rites by Janaka every day. So Janaka was worshipping that unstrung bow of Lord Shiva. We were asking the Lord to unstring. So Janaka was blessed with an unstrung bow. He offers flowers and sandal paste and waves camphor flame and incense in its honor. You can see Swami is giving us the process of how we should worship, because King Janaka did it. So he offered flowers, he offered sandal paste, he waved camphor flame and incense. So these are 3-4 things which we have to do as part of puja, which apparently King Janaka was performing to this bow, unstrung bow of Shiva. He places eatables and fruits before the divine presence in the bow in reverential homage. He offers fruits and other eatables also to this divine presence of the bow in reverential homage. The bow is so loaded with divinity that no one can raise it and string it, be he god, demon, angel, or spirit. He says it is so divine that no one can raise it and string it. Okay, so this is the description of this Shiva Dhanush, okay, the bow of Shiva, which was unstrung and was worshipped by King Janaka every day. Okay, so that is the story. So, and Swami is talking about that. So when the unstrung bow itself is so divine, it has so many divine qualities, that I think we should understand. He says the bow is so loaded with divinity. Sister Aruna, yes, you have a question.
The last sentence says, who can raise it to string? Be a god, demon, part. What is the demon part is coming to?
Whether no one can. The demon are very powerful people. The demonic strength. Even Rakshasa, they are the physically they are the most powerful. Even such demons also can't lift it.
Okay.
Okay. Even an angel, no one in this world, no one in this world, created world, can lift this Dhanush. That is what Vishwamitra is telling Sri Ram.
Why it's coming with a big god?
Even gods, even a person who is godly, who has godly qualities also cannot.
Oh.
Okay. Even gods can't.
Oh, that's what I was trying to understand.
Yes, gods also can't, demons also can't, angels also can't, even spirits can't. Basically, it covers everyone. Human beings are even excluded in this. Okay, because we have very little power. Spirits, angels, demons, and gods have little more power than us. Superhuman they are. But even the superhuman people cannot lift it. This is what Swami said. And this is Ramakatha Rasavayini. Then it should become a separate study sister, but I'll just explain based on my understanding. Okay. So Vishwamitra is telling this is so divine that physical might will not lift it. Even spiritual might cannot lift it. No one can raise it and string it. That's why in the first mantra we say, oh Lord, only you can do. We are only telling Rudra, you only can unstring it, you can only string it. Only God is able to string it as well as unstring it. And it's because it was unstrung by Lord Shiva and it was given to Janaka. Okay. So that's what Swami is explaining. So that's how powerful it is. So going back to this talk of, we were talking about mind and things like that. Our mind is uncontrollable by ourselves. Even gods cannot see. Devendra is the king of all gods. That king of gods is actually he also Indriyas also affect him also. Senses are difficult to control by even Devendra, even though he is the king of the Indriyas. which is nothing but mind. So no power, created power, can lift this bow and string it. So that is the belief. That is what Swami is explaining. Okay, so I think we'll read the next two quotes and we can discuss if there are any questions, if it's okay. So this one is, as you can see, from a discourse in 1986, 18th April. So that means it must be a Rama Navami discourse in 1986. So we'll read that. Swami says, therefore, the mind must be saved from being enslaved by the senses. The master should never allow himself to be the servant of his servant. The master should never allow himself to be the servant of his servants. The mind has been provided with a master whom it is neglecting and ignoring through its degrading subservience to the senses. The master is buddhi, intelligence. Intelligence is not a good, I will remove it, okay. It's a buddhi is discriminative faculty, okay, the faculty of discrimination. Within brackets, I think people have in the Sathya Sai speaks, which I extracted from people sometimes add their own meanings. The master is buddhi. So buddhi is the master of the mind. When controlled and directed by this faculty, the mind becomes a sacred tool. This day, the birth of Sri Rama is celebrated in all lands. Rama had deed, word and thought, body, speech and mind, ever pure and totally free from blemish. Really speaking, one ought to revere the story of Rama as a profound allegory. Every act and actor in that story attracts attention and gets imprinted on the memory because the allegory is personal to each of us. For example, consider Dasharatha, the 10-chariot king. He represents the human body with the 5 senses of perception and 5 senses of organs of action. He has 3 wives, the 3 gunas or dispositions, sattva, rajas and tamas, named Kaushalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi. He has 4 sons who embody in themselves the 4 goals of human life: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Rama is the very embodiment of dharma. The other 3 goals can be achieved only by steady adherence to dharma. We find therefore the brothers Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna following the footsteps of Rama. Rama had mustered so much spiritual strength through his consistent observance of dharma that he could wield and bend the mighty bow named Shivadanush. That was the proof of the Jivi, the individual, having overcome delusion. Janaka, the ruler of Videha, had the bow in his custody. He was on the lookout for a hero who had mastered the fatal flaw. So Swami is in this Ramanavami discourse, he's saying the Ramayana is actually an allegory which actually applies to each one of us. In each, we are the Jivi who is Rama, or Jivatma is Rama, and the Dasharatha is the body in which we exist because the 5 Indriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 5 Jnana, actions, organs of action and cognition. They are 10 Indriyas, 10 senses. Dasharatha is the one who rides in that. Okay, the body and the mind complex is Dasharatha. Okay, and he has 3 wives, the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. And Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna are the 4 Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That's why Artha goes with Dharma. Lakshmana always went with Rama. Moksha, Bharata, Kama, Shatrugna always went with Bharata. So these two have to be together, Dharma, Artha and Kama, Moksha. And Swami says because Dharma, Rama was fully adhering to Dharma, he was able to lift this Shivadhanush. Only a person who follows that Dharma, identifying oneself with Atman. When Swami says Dharma here, it's Atma Dharma. One who realizes that one is divine, that person can lift the Shivadhanush. Why was this Shivadhanush? It was with Janaka, who was the ruler of Videha. Videha means one who is overcome the body consciousness. Deha means body. Videha means one who is above the body, one who is beyond body consciousness. Only he had the custody of this unstrung bow of Shiva. Okay, only two people who could lift it. One was Sita, Mother Sita, the daughter of the Bhumata, and Lord Rama. Okay, so Swami says, what did Rama picking up the Shivadhanus, stringing it, and the bow breaking means once the Lord and the Jivatma connects with the Paramatma, the body is actually broken. The mind, body consciousness is also broken. Okay, that is once that happens, Sita marries Lama. So the Jivatma joins Paramatma. So this is allegory. So Swami is talking about that. So we were talking about unstringing the bow of Shiva, praying to him, put the arrows away. That's why I said, arrows are thoughts. We should be thoughtless. We should be, our body should be, offered to the Lord. No, body consciousness should be given up. All that is in the story form Swami has explained. That means we should give up body consciousness. We should give mind consciousness. All that can be done only with the help of Rudra. By praying to him only we can achieve that. And once that happens, our mind will become Shivadhanus, which is unstrung. It will not cause hurt or harm either to us or to others. So that is, or it will not be fear striking. We will not be afraid, others will not be afraid. All that will happen when we achieve that stage with the help of God, with the help of Rudra. Okay. I will one more excerpt from Swami's discourse. Moon is the presiding deity of the mind. Before Rama lifted the bow of Shiva in the court of King Janaka, Sita's mind was not at peace. That's before Rama lifted the bow, apparently Sita's mind was not at peace. When Sita went to Ayodhya after her marriage with Rama, one day she confided to him how the moon of her mind was clouded before Rama lifted the Shiva bow. Rama then told Sita that at the time of his birth, thick clouds covered the moon. So it could not have his darshan at the time of his birth. Rama then promised to the moon that he would add Chandra to his name to make it happy. Rama further told that in his next incarnation in Dwapara Yuga, the moon would be the first to have the darshan of the Lord and to pay salutations to him. True to the words spoken by Lord Ramachandra, the moon had the good fortune of having the first darshan of Sri Krishna when his father Vasudeva was carrying him across the river Yamuna. Thus, the moon was the first to do namaskar to the Lord in his incarnation as Krishna. So the thing is, when Rama was born, the mind was so clouded it could not see Rama. So that it's a see. But in Krishna, when Krishna was born, it was night. But still, even though it was engrossed in night, the moon was able to have darshan of Krishna. So you can imagine every small aspect of the life of avatars have some deep meaning. So ultimately, we have to train our mind. It takes time. Only with the God's help, the moon is able to, he will accept it and he will fix the problem and he will grant darshan to that mind. So I thought all of them relate to the same Here also you can see, when he lifted the bow, Shiva Dhanush. So I thought these were good understanding. They were good excerpts to understand the meaning of the mantras. So that's why I've given. I don't want to go into too much detail. You all can read it again and again, and hopefully Swami will do what he has to do. He will lift it up and he will string it. So those are my words. That's what I have prepared for today. I will, if there are any questions or comments, I will open it up. Yes, Brother Vimalesan.
Sairam, just a couple of things just to be clear. The Bhava, the Sumana Bhava, so the Bhava and Astu almost same meaning?
Exactly, brother.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
The other thing is, this kind of the bow is the body, string is the mind, arrows are thoughts. That kind of interpretation, is it traditional Bhashya people also say that, or is it the devotees who get the Swami's hint that those kind of people? I just want to know whether it's traditionally there, because Swami has been telling that traditionally also it's there, or that traditional interpretations of Bhashyas.
So the reality is, brother, Vedas and the meanings have undergone a lot of deterioration over time, which happens, it's a natural thing which happens in this world. The Bhashyas which we have today are of the recent past. And those Bhashyakaras are apparently relying on other Bhashyas. But the original Bhashyas are all lost. They're not even available. So traditionalists who have held on to whatever they have traditionally not dealt with it like this. That's the reality.
Oh, okay.
So among all the Bhashyakaras, the one who has gone into such type of Bhashyam is a person called Vishnu Suri. But there are many traditionalists who discard and think that is not authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So Vishnu Suri is one person who has given this kind of similar kind of interpretation.
Oh, okay.
See, only because the traditions have deteriorated that the Lord has to incarnate. So one of the reason I am trying to include as much as possible from Swamis is so that we understand. This is the way I have understood, so I am sharing that.
Right.
The best Bhashya is actually Swami's. Explanation is Swami because he is the original one. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
So this is new.
Okay.
If you go to the traditionalists, some of them would say, but many people say, as long as we are attached to the world, we will only look at what, I'm having this trouble, you are the one who is hurting, that kind of thing, but without realizing that the mind is the one which causes.
Right.
The original sages, would Narada be afraid like this and he will pray? I think that's the question we should ask. I could have picked up many quotes from Swami on Sri Narada Maharshi also. Actually, I had picked up 30, 40 excerpts, but I only picked a few so that we can share. Otherwise, it becomes a bit unwieldy to cover it in an hour and a half or even half an hour when we look at the meanings. This is Swami's.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I want to
Yes,
hear. Okay.
there are enough. Swami has talked about, but some of the Upanishads have talked about it. And people like, Sri Adi Shankaracharya and all have also spoken. But the reality is the understanding of the philosophy which they expounded was not commonly understood by the common man.
Right.
Should everyone read this and will they come to the same understanding? Maybe not. We should not expect, because everyone in their own world, in their own life journey, their level of understanding and all that will be different.
Right.
So
Okay.
Swami has spoken. That's all I
Right.
can say.
Okay.
Traditionally, you will not find. See,
Okay.
if you, I should speak, if, for example, if you go to, in Tamil Nadu and all, Kanchi Periyava or Shankaramat, they are very authentic and they're supposed to be Advaitic, you understand?
Right. Yeah.
But even they will say, for example, women should not chant Om, women should not chant the Vedas, they should not
Right.
even learn. These
Yeah.
are the concepts which have traditionally existed.
Right. Right.
We should not find fault because they are carrying a tradition which has, to some extent, degraded in certain ways.
Yeah.
And they even if they believe, they do not have the authority to change it.
Right. Right.
So that is
Yeah.
why an avatar is needed.
Yeah.
And when an avatar comes, will it happen overnight? It will not. Because how will it happen if you ask me? Uh, Swami has taught so much. How many people are reading it? How many of
Yeah.
us are studying? Even our own journey will not have fully materialized in this lifetime. But we
Yeah.
have to start somewhere. And if we can study what Swami has taught to the extent possible,
Right.
over a period of time, the Vedas will come back to their original glory. It will take time. The Lord may have to come again. That doesn't matter when and how it will happen.
Yeah.
But these are things Swami has taught, and it is for us who believe in Swami to have faith in his teachings, to study
Right.
and benefit from that.
Okay. I understand that. And one more thing, the Swami said, Puranas, of course, but Ramayana and Mahabharata, even traditionally, the name itself, Itihasa, means this has been like this or whatever.
Yes.
So Swami has said so many times, it's the Ramayana and Mahabharata really happened, and he has materialized Sita's Mala, or many things. So in that sense, he said that really happened. Krishna and Rama really lived and all that. And also he has been telling, and in this also, it's an allegory. So how do you reconcile both these things?
Okay. So the thing is, brother, has Swami been born? It's a fact. Okay. Hundreds of years, thousands of years. Why even now, when we speak about Swami, there are people who will not accept what
Yeah.
each of our experience. That's the reality.
Right.
Did it happen? Yes. But is Swami's life itself is an allegory? Yes, it is an allegory, because allegory is an example set by Avatara Purushas so that we can follow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the story itself is written in such a way, they incarnate with a certain story, which itself is a teaching.
Okay.
So it is a reality as well as it's an allegory. It's an example for us to learn from many spiritual truths and put it into practice.
Okay.
So that is why Ramayana and Mahabharata, see, everything in life, every piece of history is not allegory from a spiritual perspective. But when the Lord incarnates, he devises a story of how events unfold. And every word, every action has something to teach to the world.
Okay.
Actually, it is, see, it is whatever happened within only is happening outside. So whatever happens outside, it's an allegory for us to learn and internalize it.
Right.
So
Okay.
in that way, it only when the Lord devises something, it's perfect. When humans devise, it's not perfect. That is why whatever Swami has done, there are many people who think we are taking it to the next level, we are improving it. All such theories come out. That is because of ignorance, that you are tampering with what the Lord has said. Study it with humility, because this is what is happening to our own organization. That's a reality. See, we do not understand, and they will say people who are in India will not be able to deal with things in the West. All these kinds of talk also goes on, because what Swami has done is for eternity. So we had to study with humility what the Lord has given.
Right. Yeah.
If I start writing Ramayana with a modern Ramayana, Rama with the gun and he shot Ravana and all that, then all this goes away.
Yeah.
Why Rama had to be born? Why should he have a bow? Every aspect even each hair, why Jada, we can discuss about what is Jada Modi, Kabardin we discussed. That itself has significance. So it is so filled with significance. Everything, every hair, every eye, every gesture is filled with a lot of. If we have the right view to perceive it, learn it, only avatar Purushas have this ability to make their life itself as an allegory for us to live.
Right.
I
Okay.
hope I covered that.
Sai Ram,
Sai Ram.
this is Sakwanti. First and foremost, we must believe our avatar is an avatar Brahman. Whatever that he has shared with you, you were great enough to teach us so that these Rudra stanzas, we are able to see the inner meaning and connect within us. I don't know how to thank you, but this is something I never expected when I came to study the Rudra. Now you have shown us there is an insight into every sloka, every Rudra stanzas. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to you and Swami. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Aunty, Sai Ram. Thank you. Anyway, Brother Kumar,
Yes,
you have something?
just one last quick question.
Yes.
Bhujanga means snake, and in Tamil, the Bhujam is a shoulder. So is it the meaning has some connection or no?
Bhuja is yes, arm. I will come back to you, brother. You asking. See, many of the words come from sounds and have similar meanings, but I will come back to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
I think last time there was a question. I think Swasa. I think there was a question which Kalyani had asked. Yes, Swasa actually. Swasa means breath. Vishwasa actually comes from breath.
Oh, okay.
Faith itself should be our breath. That is the highest breath. Without faith, we cannot live in this world. That's the real. So Vishwasa is the highest type of swasa is Vishwasa.
Oh, okay.
Or you can say even breath is, that's the meaning of Vishwasa. Okay.
Okay.
I think I said I will share that. Yes, Brother Kumar.
Thank you, brother. Can you please go to mantra 11? I just have a Sanskrit related question.
Okay.
Mantra 11. It's for my ignorance. I just want to.
No problem. This one, yes, brother.
Yeah. See, in that, I know, sometimes in that second line, it says Shivo, right?
Yes.
Shivo. That the last, there's a thing on the top, it comes and say, because I know it's Shivo, because the meaning we are talking about Shiva. But above, in that same thing, Sate, Sude, that it becomes A, not O, the sound. Why? I'm looking at the, the thing on the, like a thing on the top.
Yeah, so brother, if you take a consonant and put that sign like that, like a rabbit's ear, if you want to put
yes,
it becomes A.
A. Okay, yeah, that's what my understanding.
If you put another line by its side, a staff, and then you put that, then it becomes O.
Okay.
So wherever there's an extra line and on top of that line, there is that rabbit ear, it's O.
Oh, okay. I got it. Now when I read, I will understand that part. The last part is, I know the mukha, right? Mukha. But if you didn't teach me, how I would have read it? Sorry, because ignorance. That's my Sanskrit.
Murava, you will have read.
I would have read exactly. That's what.
So I think, see, the ra and ka are, similar. It is how the letters are placed. As you can see, the ra ends below the va.
Okay.
If you spread them out a little bit, it becomes rava.
So I think with the meaning I'm able to understand, then I am trying to change the word mukha.
Yeah, but it's familiarity with how they look, brother.
Thank you, brother. And I really loved the Sai discourses about that allegory concept. I know we don't have much time. Much appreciate. Thank you, and Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.
समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति 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 Sai Ram everyone.